Hello everyone, my name is Scott Carney and welcome to Club Nights on the 15th of July 2024 here on Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. This is our kind of bi-daily, every couple of days show where we bring you a kind of bite-sized podcast and bring you the up-to-date talking points about Rangers and bring our reaction to them. So tonight we will start with the statement that was released by the club confirming the first games to be at Hampden. I'll read the statement now. Rangers confirm agreement has been finalised with both the Scottish SFA, the Scottish FA even and the SPFL for the use of Hampden Park for the club's home fixtures in the early part of the 24-25 season. Further to last week's update, the club is continuing to work at pace on details plans for the transition to the National Stadium. While the Ask Rangers site seeks to address immediate questions, further information will be delivered to our season ticket holders and seasonal hospitality clients as we progress the situation. At this stage, the club can announce our William Hill Scottish Premiership matches with Motherwell on Saturday the 10th of August and Ross County on Saturday the 24th of August will be played at Hampden, with both matches kicking off at 3 p.m. With draws still to be made for the UEFA Champions League third qualifying round and potential playoff round, plus a potential home tie in the Premier Sports Cup, the club will communicate news on dates and kick-off times for them once the information is confirmed. The club is continuing to work tirelessly on the Copeland Stand project at Ibrox to complete that as soon as possible. As soon as the club can provide a definite update on matches returning to our home, it will do so. Rangers again puts on record its thanks to the Scottish FA and the SPFL for their considerable work in reaching this solution. Above all, the club thanks our supporters for their ongoing patience and understanding as we deal with this challenge. So yes, definitely confirmed. I don't really know what else to say about it, as the fact that it has definitely been confirmed, and it is the whole of August. That is absolutely for sure. Now, as I said previously, I'm not a betting man, and it's maybe the feeling that we've had around the club recently and the way these projects tend to run on and on. I don't think it will be just August. I do think it's going to be longer than that, because if we can't have a definite answer by now of when the work's going to be complete, that is only literally a month and a half away until the end of August. So I don't see it really running in. I see it running in to the following month, to be honest, which is less than ideal. Look, again, it's something that I've kind of come to accept now, that this is what's going to be happening. It still feels a wee bit unnatural that it's going to be like this, but at least we have a solid confirmation of the games that we will be playing at Hampden no matter what. But the fact that it was confirmed right up to the end of August shows there's very little faith, in my opinion, that it's going to be ready any time before then. So yeah, not an ideal way to start, but it's something that we need to just get on with. We have to win the games no matter where we play them. And yeah, the first league games, or every game in August for sure, is going to be at Hampden. Let's all cross everything that we are back in Ibrox very quickly after the game against Ross County. That would be absolutely ideal. Moving on, Clement speaks to Rangers TV. He did an interview after the training camp that was in the Netherlands, and he had the following to say. He said it was a good training camp. The players worked hard. Still players to come back, but he is happy with how the team performed during the camp. On transfers, which is probably the bit that everybody wants to hear on, he said we will need to be patient, and that is almost almost two windows. Now that the Euros are over, hopefully we'll see movement in the market. He also mentioned that Rangers have convinced players to come to Rangers, and negotiations are ongoing. He did, however, admit he isn't where he wanted to be with the squad at this stage in terms of recruitment, but that is football. He added it is about being ready with players who we do have in the building. So slightly more positive. Even the club have kind of let out rumour that there is still business to be done. There will still be business done, and it's not fully about players leaving, but I think both the board and the manager are trying to lift the mood, I would think, a wee bit there, because obviously the backlash from the players must leave before we sign anybody comment that was definitely made by Clement that kind of stopped us all in our tracks a wee bit. Kind of caused a bit of a backlash, as I said, and it's again adding to this the feeling of uncertainty around the club just now in terms of where we are and what direction we're going in. I still think, and obviously you kind of calm down and you kind of assess things and you look at the squad, that the players have to leave. We can't continue on with the size of the wage bill that we do have. So Coppin has got to do his job and he has to get players moved on. Who that's going to be, who knows? We don't know. Obviously, there's rumours speculating with everybody. Clement said himself that there's been rumours about players that are currently in the squad that are they're just completely false. They're not true. Obviously, didn't confirm names or the likes, but I suppose it's always going to happen during this season when Rangers are really going through such a big recruitment process in terms of the squad. I think it's I think in terms of where we are with the squad, I will not be happy if this is what we have at the end of the window. If this is it, then I don't think any of us are going to be fully happy with that. There's a lot of players that do have to leave the building, but I do have faith that they will move on. There is certain players that will be surplus to requirements. There'll be others that we're hoping to make a bit of money on. And then obviously the comment about Clement about negotiations are ongoing. Let's hope that's the truth. Let's hope that's not a kind of fluff of the truth, if you like, and it's just a kind of a passing comment to try and relieve a bit of the uncertainty within the fans. Because leading into this week and leading up into the game against Man United, I'm hoping for a very positive week in terms of outs and ins, and strong, solid links as well would be perfect. I think it's critical now for Rangers we need to put the Hampden thing to bed as much as we possibly can and not try and dwell on it too much. Nobody likes going there. I don't know any single person that says they like going to Hampden, but that is what it is. We can't control that, so we need to deal with that, and then we have to just go and make Hampden Ibrox for the first month, 2 months, however long it may be, going into the new season. But it is critical now for the business to start. We have to move players out. We have to bring real quality in. I'm not saying there isn't quality in the squad, there definitely is, but I mentioned in a blog that I put on the Patreon site yesterday that I still feel we are at least one quality signing short in every department. Defence, centre of defence especially, midfield, and now the attacking front line, and maybe the midfield more so due to a story I'm just about to come on to as well. But the attacking line as well, we've got Danilo who's coming back from a very serious injury. We don't know what kind of player he's going to be. I think it would be risky to put all the eggs in that basket and hope that he will be the answer. Aganami, as I say, in terms of what Clement said, he doesn't sound like he's going to be fully ready. And again, if you walk your way through back towards the defence, he said about Nassar that he's not going to be ready. He's not going to be the kind of there for first team selection straight from the start. He did make the example of Diomande when he came in January. He looked a wee bit kind of all over the place, and he did settle quite quickly, and he did look very promising. And I suppose we have to really hope that happens with some of these players that we have brought in. I think we have signed potential. I'm not going to say that we haven't. I think that there's definitely potential in the signings that we brought into the club already. But it's the real quality bit now that we need. It's the desire of the real quality, something to kind of get the juices flowing with fans. Be that, as I say, mentioned in previous pods, be that Seamer coming in, whoever. We need someone that with a bit of pedigree behind them, a bit of something to go, right, okay, you can see what we're doing here, could add a bit of quality. We need to go spend money. We really do need to go and spend money, whether it's, if we're getting led to believe that it is there, but it isn't there, kind of one way and the other. No matter what, Rangers are going to need to bring in some real quality in order to have any real confidence in this squad achieving something this upcoming season. It's a tall order. It is a tall order, and maybe Clement's looking at it now and going, it's a bigger order than he thought it was. It was a bigger job than he thought it was, and he maybe thought he could have developed more players. He could have got the best out of the players that he currently has within the squad, and he's now left with a squad that he ultimately thinks isn't really good enough, because we all think it. That's the thing, is we all think this squad isn't good enough. I don't think any of us any fan is where we thought we would be at this stage of the pre-season. Whether the Euros has slowed things down remains to be seen. We're going to need to wait and see now that it's over and what happens in the market going forward. Whether players are offered to clubs, where their players are made available, where their agents start their jobs in terms of trying to get their players a move. And I suppose we need to take advantage of any real business that comes our way that would suit Rangers. I've got no doubt that that Coppin and Clement have done their homework, and there will be people out there that we've identified, and there'll be people out there that we're speaking to. But it's now actions speak louder than words. Is basically what I'm beating around the bush at. Actions speak louder than words. It's okay having these interviews and having these wee snippets that we can hang our hat on. It's now time for us to get into the business, and to start really getting this squad as ready as we possibly can for the upcoming season, because we are all we're all crying out for it, absolutely crying out for it. That's for absolutely sure. But so as I say, we need to see. We need to see. I'm a wee bit sceptical and a wee bit like, okay, I want to kind of put that to bed and remain glass half full going into the rest of this window, and it is going to run to the end of August, and I imagine we'll probably be in the market right up till the very end. Don't know if it will be a deadline day special or what. Very possibly could be. But as I say, the business has to start now. We have to stop hearing these words now, and we have to start seeing some faces move out and some real quality faces come in, because we're not far away now. We're really not far away at all from the start of the season. We've got 3 pre-season games left before the real football begins. So it's time for action. It's time for it to get going. Speaking about quality signings, obviously from the weekend there, how I mentioned the middle of the park as well about a quality signing is that Raskin's injury requires a scan after being on the end of a bad tackle during the pre-season friendly against Ajax. He was pictured leaving on crutches and in a moon boot, and will require a scan when he gets back to Glasgow. This is a real shame for Raskin, I think, if it's long term, because it took him a very long time to get back into things after his last injury, and he didn't really come back all guns blazing, I wouldn't say. And I think really it's a make or break season for Raskin at Rangers, and then obviously as well to get himself a decent move, a big move going forward, after he leaves Rangers, because that's obviously will be his ambition to do so. Because I think the jury's out with a lot of the fans on him. Now, whether that's fair or not, I'm not sure, but there's times where I've seen a player where I thought, there's something in there. He looks good. I was hoping under a kind of full pre-season under Clement, he would kind of try and mould him a little bit better, and kind of develop him in different areas in order to make him a kind of a player that we thought we were going to see. But he hasn't really reached the heights that many of us thought we were going to see with him, I don't think. And I believe this is now a season where it is kind of make or break for him, which is, it's just the sad reality of football, I suppose, at times. It doesn't look great. I mean, if he's leaving on crutches and a moon, but he did go off the pitch unaided. He wasn't stretchered off. However, I would have my reservations about thinking he'll be available for the start of the season, which again is just another kind of kick in the teeth. Injuries happen in football. I do understand that, of course they do, but that'll be another one for him, and again it could be a prolonged period on the sidelines for him. Obviously we'll wait for more detail before we can really decide whether we're writing him off or not, because I'm not writing him off. I quite like Raskin, but I've always thought you could do better. They've always thought you could do better, and that's me being completely honest. As I say, we'll have to wait and see how bad the injury may be, but I do think for his sake, we have to hope as well that it's for our sake and for his sake that we have to hope that it's short term, because I believe he has to kick on a bit this season. He has to show a little bit more, I think, this season in order to kind of establish himself within our midfield, be one of the first choices within the midfield, which he would have been striving for, of course he would have, but really to get himself in the best position to get himself that move, and for us to really cash in on the trading model that we're going on with the players, the player trading model that we're going on. He's one that we want a good season out of him, so we can sell him on for a profit and we can make good money on him. So time's going to tell with the injury, but it doesn't look a particularly good one, that is for sure. That will do me for tonight. As I say, just a wee quick bite-sized podcast. Jamie brought you a reaction pod on Saturday that was on YouTube. I was busy on Saturday, so it was a wee bit all over the place, and that's kind of why things have been quiet. I had quite a hectic weekend, but things are calming down now. Going into this week going forward, there's hopefully going to be a lot of recordings happening in terms of getting stuff ready for our official launch on Patreon, which will be on the 3rd of August, and that'll be the only place you'll be able to get our club reaction pods, all our special pods, this pod, my club deck corners, etc. You'll get them over on our Patreon, and I very much hope to see you all there. Thank you everybody that's came over and signed up so far. The response has been great. Please tell your friends, that would be magic. And yeah, we were officially kicking off. The launch of the Patreon will be on the 3rd of August. So yes, keep your eyes peeled for more content. I say this is really just kind of a soft launch that we're doing up until the official launch on the 3rd of August, just to get things rolling, give you an idea of what we plan to do. And there's a few really cracking pod ideas coming up very, very soon. One that will be out definitely on Thursday evening will be a preview of the Man United game. That will be available on Patreon. And that will be with Hamza from the Friday Night Counter Attack pod. And if you remember, back, I don't know when we were linked with Diallo all the way back then, I had him on to have a wee discussion about him. So he's very happily coming on. He's going to have a chat with Ryan about the upcoming game against Man United. So keep your eyes peeled for that. I will be back with club nights at some point this week, probably Wednesday night. I think I'll probably do another one round about then. Hopefully we've got some news about transfers. That would be quite nice. That would be quite enjoyable if we could. But yeah, that will do me for tonight. I have been Scott Carney. This has been Club Nights, and we are Club at 22, the Rangers podcast. I'll speak to you all very, very soon. Cheers, everybody.